Hello, hello. This is Johnny Cycles with CyclesGaming.com. I'm bringing you a deck tech for a Dragons and Pioneer deck I'm working on. I'm kind of trying to squeeze it in this month around some vacation slash trips and work around the house. So the only card I was really excited about, moderately excited about from the Spider-Man set was this one. It's Ben Riley, Scarlet Spider Ben Riley, Boris the Spider Rider, aka. The enweb cost is very intriguing. So for 2 mana, we get this 4/3 Trampler with some upside because it comes down with counters on it. So I began thinking, how can we abuse this card? And of course, Nova Hellkite's been on my radar since Edge of Eternities came out. Thinking, great, we want cheap, very large creatures. But they can't just be cheap mana cost and large bodies. They have to have a higher mana cost. And Warp is perfect for this. So we play a Nova Hellkite for 3, and then this cares about mana value. So we warp it in for 3, then we cast attack, cast this for its in web cost, and then this comes down with 5+1/+1 counters on it. So that's kind of like the core idea of the deck, what I wanted to build around. But then, obviously you need 5 mana at this point. So what can we play to get us to that point? Well, Mana Dorks, obviously great for ramp into big creatures, but it's also a way to turn 2 cast a 5/4 Boris the Spider Rider, which is pretty sweet. Frenzy Baloth, one of the new cards from Edge of Eternities that I've been trying to play, testing out. Trample Haste for 3/2. Again, the idea here being that if we fill our deck with hasty threats, our ways to get value from ETB or attack triggers or whatever, then we can use the in-web cost to gain value, extra value out of it by making this guy really big and bouncing that thing to our hand and then being able to attack with it the next turn like it never got returned to our hand. So Frenzy Baloth, a nice early threat that we can bounce to our hand, make this into a 6/5, recast this on the following turn. Screaming Nemesis, similar concept. Everything has haste, but this is just difficult to deal with. Hasty threat that can punish people. Tursa Light Shatter. This is the one that our best ETB one. So we get a draw 2 or discard 2, draw 2, and then has an attack trigger. So we can cast this, attack with it, and then bounce it to our hand with Boris. Make the Boris into a 7/6, and then recast this for value. Cure just as a way to untap things as well as give us a little bit of card draw. So we have these 6 cards are our card draw. Glorybringer, one of my favorites, best dragon, obviously. Cure and Glorybringer are best friends, but we can theoretically attack, exert it, if this is late game, exert it, and then cast the Boris to bounce it back to our hand and not have to wait a whole turn to attack. We can recast the next turn. Shivan Devastator, another great dragon. We can play it early. Let's say X equals 2 or 3, if we just want to pressure our opponent or get in some damage or kill a planeswalker or something like that. And then when later in the game, when we have a lot more mana, we can bounce it to our hand. This only grows by 1, but we get this back to our hand, we can recast it for a lot more. So that's the idea of the deck. Otherwise, normal land base with Field of Ruins. I think, man, I've already played my league, by the way. I won't spoil it. But there were some games where I really wish I had in so many fields. So I did not have so many Field of Ruins. Lair of the Hydra is on 1 creature land. Sideboard, spoiler alert, we ran into some graveyard decks, and these 2 cards, they come down early, they can maybe keep up, but the way the graveyard decks are these days, I think Leyline of the Void is a necessary evil in their place. Bloom Environment Region, hopefully gain us some life against the hyper-aggressive decks. Pick Your Poison deals with big flyers from demons or just random artifacts and enchantments. Pyroclasm to help clean the board against go wide, low to the ground strategies, and Chandra's Defeat to fight against the mono red decks out there. And that is my Boris, the Spider Rider Nova Hellkite deck and Pioneer. Let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy the gameplay. I'll catch y'all on the next one.